My name's Joe DeMar, and I'm the political director for the Ohio Green Party. And I'm making this video to help the Green Party candidates get on the ballot for 2018. Gathering petition signatures to get on the ballot is the first step in becoming a candidate and getting elected. There's some very strict rules on petition gathering, how it can be done, what you can do, what you can't do. And if you break any of these rules, it will invalidate your petitions and you won't be able to get on the ballot. First of all, we start with the petition itself. Print it out on legal paper, both sides, and the petitions are available from the Secretary of State's website. First part's simple, and you put your name. In my case, it's Joseph R for my middle initial, DeMar. So print everything on this form, nothing in cursive. Joseph R. DeMar, the undersigned, hereby declare under penalty of election falsification that my voting residence address is. And then of course you have to put your address here, your street address. First the street address, then the city or village, and then they've already got Ohio helpfully printed in here. And by the way, I'm using the petitions for party primary election for either Ohio State Senator or Ohio State Representative. There's different petitions for every possible elected office. You'll see if you go to that website, they're all listed there. And the zip code. Alright, so far so good, very simple. I am the qualified elector. I hereby declare that I desire to be a candidate for nomination to the office of, and this is where you write in if you're going to be a state representative or a state senator or any other office that you're running for. So, as a member of the Green Party. And you could fill this out as green even if you're not yet registered as a Green Party member. Running for office on that party line is enough to make you become legally a green for the purposes of running. And you have to put in this case, the number of the district and the state representative or state senate. And you will be running for the full term and not this unexpired term. You could leave that blank. That's only for special elections. So you're running for the full term at the primary election to be held on the 8th day of May 2018. So what you are actually doing when you file this petition and the petition for other positions is you're saying you're going to be on the primary ballot. And in 2018, the Ohio Green Party is going to have a statewide gubernatorial candidate. So there will be a statewide primary. So your name will appear on the ballot in May, and people will be able to vote for you. And this is one of the tricks. I actually got tricked on this one once, and it goes, I hereby declare that if elected to this office or position, I will qualify therefore, in other words, I'm qualified to run for this position, and I will support and abide by the principles enunciated by the Green Party. So you have to have the party name twice on this petition. If you only put it on once, it's an invalid petition. Dated this, and I happen to be making this on the 26th day of June 2017. And then your official signature. So that's how you fill the petition out. Now, a couple notes. One, as I said, this all has to be done before you collect a single signature, so don't gloss over this and say, oh, I'll finish filling this in later. Two, now that you've got this, you can make copies of it. And so you can make as many copies as you like and distribute them out to the people who might be helping you gather petition signatures. Those people also have to be members of the Green Party, though. They can't just be unaffiliated voters or voters from other parties. 3, this original petition, the one I just signed, this physical piece of paper, this will have to be submitted along with the other petitions with at least one valid signature on it. So you can make as many copies as you like and have them distributed, but this one has to be turned in with at least one valid signature. Also, you are allowed to turn in up to 3 times the minimum number of valid signatures required. In other words, Ohio State Senate or Ohio State Representative requires 25 valid signatures. You're allowed to turn in up to 75. The rule of thumb is if you turn in 50, if you turn in double the number you're required, probably enough of them will be valid that you'll get on. This brings us to another question, though, that I'll get to in a minute in terms of who can sign this petition. So it has to be carried by Greens or by yourself if you're the candidate, because you're becoming a Green by filing this petition. But it can't be carried by non-Greens. So that's who can carry it. Now, who can sign it is another question we'll get to in a minute. But first, we, the undersigned qualified electors of the state of Ohio, in other words, these are the people that are going to be signing your petitions, whose voting residence is in the country, city, village, or township set opposite our names, and members of the... Now here, I like to write in Green or unaffiliated. Green or unaffiliated, because that's who can sign your petition. Now, primary dates and deadlines for turning in for petitions change every year, and the petitions are always due 90 days before the primary date. So in this election cycle, the petitions are going to be due on February 7th. And because we're a minor party, people with no party affiliation can also sign. But Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Socialists, people who are members of other parties cannot sign your petition. And I like to write Green with a capital G and then unaffiliated with a small u, just to be really clear. And unaffiliated has 2 F's and 1 L. And then hereby certify that name of candidate, in this case Joseph R. DeMar, this name has to match this name up at the top, whose declaration of candidacy is filed herewith, is well qualified to perform the duties of the office to which the person desires to be elected. So that's the top part of the form that has to be all filled out before you get your first signature. And so now we come to the signature gathering. And there's, not surprisingly, there's a lot of rules about how you can gather the signatures and what exactly those signatures, how they're presented. So, for example, in this first box here, where it says signature, the most common reason for petition signatures to be disallowed, and both the Republicans and Democrats are going to look over your petitions and try to cross off as many signatures as they can. The most common reason for losing a line here is that people will print their names instead of sign it. So always, when I hand someone a petition, I tell them, so the most important thing is that you sign here, don't print your name. And the reason they do that is they use the address, and they go look in their signature book, and they match the signature that they have in their book with the signature on the petition. And if they're radically different, they'll disallow the signature. And, if enough of your signatures are disallowed that you don't get on the ballot, or that you wouldn't get on the ballot, you do have a few days to look at the ones they disallowed and challenge them. And you can get some of them back. Like you could say, look, those 2 signatures are close enough. And you could appeal to the Board of Elections, and you might be able to get enough signatures reinstated to get on the ballot. Something to remember. All right, then, voting residence. Very simply, it's just the street address and number and apartment, if they've got an apartment. The city, village, or township that they live in. The county that they're from, and the date that they signed. Now, date of signature is an extremely important point here, because if you go along and you've got a signature July 4th, July 5th, July 6th, then you come to one that says July 3rd, that invalidates the petition, because you can't have a signature that would have come down on a lower line that should have come before the other signatures. These dates all have to be in consecutive order. So you're going to have to look at the signature someone gives you and see if they in fact put the right date on there. Now, if you go along here and you have an obvious mistake, like let's say someone signs your petition that you find out after they filled it out, oh, you live in the wrong county, you can't sign this petition. Or someone who puts an earlier date on there, you can cross that line out and just put your initial next to the crossing out. And you'll see why that's important in a little bit. So you go through, you don't have to fill the sheet, and you get some signatures on here. And remember, you have to get at least one ballot on your original petition. And you go through and you get all the signatures you want. Then you come to the end. Now if you don't fill your petition, let's say you only get 10 signatures on a petition, I like to then put lines through all the blank lines, the unused lines. And the reason that's important is right down here. Now, once you're done collecting and you're ready to turn this petition in, then you fill out this bottom section. So the first part of the bottom section is the name of the person who is carrying the petition. And so that name right here needs to be printed, not signed. You print it, and you say, I reside at the address appearing below my signature, and I'm a member of the Green Party. So this is why Green Party members have to be the ones carrying these petitions, or the candidate themselves, even if they're not a Green. And here's the key part. I'm the circulator containing blank, and here's number, the number of signatures. Now, if you have, let's say, 10 signatures, and this number is a 9, in other words, you put a lower number than the actual number of signatures that you've got, that invalidates the whole petition. So this is why people, some people always put the maximum number in this space. Some people always put 18, no matter how many signatures they've got, because you can be wrong in the other direction. This number could be too high, but if it's too low, it invalidates the whole petition. And the idea is that you, the circulator, witnessed 10, but there's 11 on here. That means someone else must have signed it without you witnessing it. And you have to physically see the person sign each line on this petition. If somebody says, oh, I'll take this in the back and get my wife to sign, you have to say, no, I have to physically see them sign. Not doing that, again, would invalidate the petition. And so you've got it filled out, the back part, you've printed your name, you've said you're in the Green Party, you've got either the correct number of signatures or a higher number. I like to be correct, you know. If I've got this all filled out, I got 18 and I've crossed out one of them, I'll write 17 in here, but it's up to you. You can write 18, or you could not cross out. That's up to you when you turn in your petitions. But the key thing is that number cannot be too low, and that's why I always put blank lines through the blank lines that don't have signatures on them. Then, pretty simple, at the very end, the circulator's signature. Obviously, that's got to be the same person that printed their name here. The address of the circulator, and yes, that is discrimination against homeless people, but you got to have an address, and the city, village, state, and zip code. So once you've got that filled out, this petition is ready to turn in. And this part the Board of Elections fills out. You don't worry about this last little bit here. So, yeah, don't worry about this bit. So, that's basically it. If you don't have enough Green Party people to actually carry petitions, they can still help you. They can go door to door with you and talk to people and get them to agree to sign, and then someone who actually is a member of the party can bring the petition up with it that they can sign. There's just a few quick words about gathering petitions themselves. When you go to big public events like 4th of July picnic or a county fair or a parade, and you just go up and ask people, you know, are you an unaffiliated voter or a Green Party member? And just say, you know, would you like to sign the petition? If you do this randomly, the experience is up to half those people can be wrong. People can think that they're registered in one party or another, or not registered, and when you go actually look at the rolls, they're wrong. So those signatures end up being invalid. The preferred way to get these signatures is to go to your Board of Elections and ask for a walk list of Green Party members and unaffiliated voters in an area where you're going to collect petitions. That way you go door to door, and the walk list will have the person's name, and you can go to the door and say, you know, is Bob here? And they'll say yes, and so you know that person is eligible to sign your petition. It takes longer. You know, you can have 3 or 4 people going out. You might only get, on some days you might get 3 or 4 signatures. On other days you might get 20. So it takes a while to do it that way, but in the end, almost all those signatures will be valid, and you'll know that you're able to get on the ballot and run. So that's our video on how to gather petition signatures. Once you turn this in, there's usually a filing fee, and if you don't have enough money to pay it, it's usually around $25. The Ohio Green Party might be able to help you with that. You know, contact me or contact the Ohio Green Party, and we'll tell you how to, you know, we might be able to help you with your filing fee. But this is basically it. Once you turn this in and it's approved, you are a candidate and you will be on the ballot. You won't be on the primary ballot if you're unopposed, but you will be on it if you are opposed, or if there's a statewide candidate or another opposed candidate in your jurisdiction. But then you would definitely be on the November ballot representing the Green Party and our values. And just one quick opinion, this is my personal opinion, the other parties like to use professional petition gatherers. We don't do that. For the most part, A, because we don't have much money, but B, they're not very good because they're paid by the signature. They're not paid by the valid signature. So professional gatherers really don't care about what they're doing. They're just doing it for the money. So they don't do a very good job. And also, Greens want to get money out of politics. And gathering volunteers and going out there door to door yourself, talking to people, getting them to sign your petition and invest in putting a Green on the ballot, that does more to build the party and to help change the way politics are practiced in the United States than paying somebody to get on the ballot. So that's basically it. Thank you very much for watching. This is the first of our videos on how to run for office as a Green.